They're in 80% of the food we eat, but some say genetically modified organisms pose serious health risks.
Tonight, Bo Berman tells us what GMOs are and why some people in Connecticut are breaking the law and risking arrest to tell you what you're eating.
During Connecticut's last legislative session, a bill mandating the labeling of foods with genetically engineered ingredients nearly passed. And on Election Day last week in California, they voted down a similar measure that would have required labeling there. But here in Connecticut, some say foods with GMO are too dangerous to wait. So they're taking labeling into their own hands, legal or not.
I just walk into the store.
Nobody in this store knows exactly what Seth Wilson is up to.
This has like 6 ingredients that could be.
That he's on a mission to label these foods that he thinks contain something called GMOs, issuing a warning to consumers.
I think that people have a basic right to know what they're eating.
GMOs are genetically modified organisms. They're also known as genetically engineered foods.
And you'll find these foods all over the shelves of your grocery store. GMOs, which first started getting used in food about 15 years ago to help make crops pesticide resistant. They're meant to help companies produce more food for their money, and the FDA says they're safe. But not everyone is stocking up.
The majority of soy in this country is genetically modified.
Mother of 3 and activist Tara Cook-Littman doesn't eat anything with GMOs.
There are animal studies that link GMOs with infertility, with allergies, with gastrointestinal disease, with autism, with cancer.
Most American corn, soy, sugar beets, cotton for cottonseed oil, and canola crops are genetically modified and feared dangerous by those like Littman, who are pushing for mandated product labeling. Not with skull and crossbones, but at the state policy level. So some people might be eating pesticides?
Yes.
Representative Richard Roy passed cell phone and driving safety laws in Connecticut. His latest target, a bill to tackle GMOs, pitched last session.
That bill proposed labeling any food products that contained GMOs.
Some manufacturers voluntarily label their products as GMO-free, but if a law is enacted, every single product on the supermarket shelves that contains GMO would have to say so. But on a larger scale, the hope is that manufacturers, instead of saying, hey, this product has GMO inside, will instead take the GMO out of the product.
If you're hiding the truth, it's bad.
Representative Roy says that if China, Europe, and dozens of other nations require GMO labeling, the U.S. should too. But the Connecticut Farm Bureau, Connecticut Food Association, and corporations like Monsanto, which make the seeds for GMO crops, say it's not needed.
I believe they are spreading fear that is not warranted.
We're going to have expense in this. This is going to drive up the cost of foods because we're going to have to maintain different labels, different inventory.
Despite majority support among legislators, the GMO labeling bill was vetoed at the last minute, raising questions.
The influence of Monsanto and the biotech industry is so strong that even the whisper of a threat, even the thought that there could be a threat of a lawsuit against Connecticut for bringing a GMO labeling bill, definitely had an impact on this bill's death.
Safety and health concerns should trump cost, according to Roy, who agrees with Littman in saying that the labeling provision was eliminated from the bill due to fears it opened the state up to a lawsuit.
All we have to do is start getting a couple of bodies, and then we can ask, how many people do we want dead?
No documented human deaths have been linked to GMOs, but an experiment conducted at a French university released in September claims that a diet of only genetically modified corn caused tumors and organ damage in rats. Seth isn't ready to call GMOs a killer, but he says he'll break one law until a different one gets passed.
Asking for a label on our food is a very minor request. And the fact that they're so adamant about not granting it, to me, says more about GMOs than anything else.
Now, Monsanto provided us a statement in response to our request for an interview saying, quote, Monsanto has been involved in state labeling bills through our membership in associations, including the Grocery Manufacturers Association and the Biotech Industry Association. And in certain states, such as Connecticut, Monsanto has registered lobbyists. We participate to represent our interests. Our farmer customers encourage us to be involved. In the studio, Bo Berman, Fox, Connecticut.
The governor's office says some of the state's legislative council attorneys were concerned about a lawsuit, but the GMO bill never reached Governor Malloy's desk.
Meanwhile, as of this evening, Kellogg's, the makers of Cheez-Its, has not responded to us to confirm or deny whether their product contains GMOs.